So AK71 just dropped a bombshell with a title, Alibaba and Tesla stock price plunged. Is AK finally investing in these companies? Basically, I think before we preface this entire discussion, I just wanted to say that AK is very strategic. He knows what his viewers are looking at. He knows what's the popular stocks. So he's basically stirring the pot, trying to get both sides of the camp to argue and to talk about it. So I think we just wanted to extend the discussion, just some context as well. So I think right now in this panel, Kelvin, Eric, and Bunty has a Tesla exposure. I'll leave it up to them on whether they want to tell you how much they have or not. I have a position on Alibaba. I'm not too sure whether Bunty has a position on Baba. Later he can talk about it as well. But I think that's just like some contextual understanding. If not, I'll pass the time over to Kelvin. Maybe Kelvin can give a quick summary of what AK has said in the video.
Okay, a quick summary. So he said that Baba is near fundamentals. So he prefers to invest in Baba, lah, the too long didn't wash version of it. But Baba has policy risk. Whereas for Tesla, he feels that Tesla is a bit more speculative kind of investment, and Tesla has personality risk. So basically, whenever Elon Musk talk shit, the stock will just crash, lah. Even if you don't talk shit, the stock will also crash. As compared to Baba, I guess whether the CCP talk shit or not, I guess they don't really talk shit. They just straight away hump dump the stock, then the stock crash. So, but anyway, Baba has been near 70 for a very long time, and he said that it would be a buy. So between the two, so that's why I chose. So as the Baba Boo, Chicken, what do you think about his stock pick?
No lah, not stock pick lah, because he did say that given his age, given his way of life, he thinks that there's opportunity in the Singapore market. That's why he won't traverse into other markets. But if he really die, you point a gun at his head and ask him to choose out the two. He did say that he prefers Baba purely from a quantitative and I guess valuation perspective. He didn't really talk about optionalities, about the potential, about whether it's a growth stock or not, and the potential of it lah. But I think long story short, you still need to kind of understand that AK is still he grounds himself quite acutely in the numbers space lah. So numbers I think matters to him a lot more than the story and whatnot. So maybe you just wanted to open the discussion the floor. Maybe Bunty, I'm not too sure whether you still have a Baba exposure or not. But I think, yeah, what's your thoughts on this?
No lah, no Baba. I don't know. I think for Baba, my concerns is always that whether it is a great company or not. For sure, it's a value company, judging from the free cash flow, judging from the profitability, always a good buy, right? But also you see recently when Jack Ma came out and comment about the company, he also admitted that the companies isn't doing that well, right? When it comes to the executions, he even said that the company didn't focus on the customer. You see how bad it is, right? So last time when the share price just keep on dropping, we are still like scared of whether is it something that the government did that will cause the future revenue and profit to come down, right? But we have seen that the result, okay, is like worse, but it's not like crash to zero, that kind of worse, right? So, but it's true that I think when it comes to the executions, they didn't do it very well. I think that's my main concern. So if the company isn't a great companies, I will try to stay away. That's just my style. Not to say that you invest in Baba now, confirm not working, right? That's not my meaning.
Execution, I think, is very fluid, right? So a company's mode and execution is some quarters they do well, some quarters they don't, like in the longer term. So I just wanted to ask also, so you're still of the opinion that Tesla is a great company with great execution?
For now, Tesla, I would say, yes, I think I can give a number of like bear thesis given the situation that they're facing, right? Macro trends and so on, like interest rate is high. But when it comes to the execution, when it comes to the implementing the strategy, I think it has been quite a stable one. Like it has always been Elon. So whatever you understand what Elon said, then you understand the strategy. So I think that one provides some stability in terms of their executions. But whether it will work or not is different story, because even the vision only approach when it comes to the FSD also, some people say this one will never work. So whether you trust him or not, but that's the strategy that they have been using and they haven't changing it now. So I think that's the good part.
So Eric, what's your thoughts on AK's perspective?
I think it was pretty clear to me that he doesn't want to buy either of these. He doesn't want Baba. He also doesn't want Tesla. But he have no choice. Because he made a title like, is it time to buy Tesla or Baba? And then in the video, if he say, I don't want to buy either,
So that's why I say very strategic. He knows
he,
how to play the game.
yeah, so he's just saying that, oh, okay, if I really have to make a choice, I will buy Baba. But just saying because I actually won't buy anything.
I think he just want to get some views.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But okay lah, I think generally his crowd, subscribers, followers are not really Baba and Tesla followers, right?
I
But once you
think
give once you give opinion on these two companies, for sure there will be, some vocal crowds that will jump in to opine, right? For example, like four of us.
Yeah, that's true.
I have two perspectives on this. I wanted to ask the bulls, because I'm doing some research also in Tesla, right? I think the first one is recently there's this stock comp plan, right? I wanted to know what's your opinion. Do y'all think, I don't know whether y'all follow, like the stock, now they are going out for the voting about where to approve Elon Musk's new compensation plan, because of some, I believe it was some screamer with the previous judge, and then the previous compensation plan was like uprooted or something. Then they need to approve a new one. Maybe I'll ask one by one. So I'll ask this question first on. Do you guys have any thoughts on this, Kelvin?
Actually, I never really follow, but my feel is that like if he can perform, then why not just give him the money lah? But on the other hand, it feels like sort of he's holding the company hostage with this compensation plan, right? So if they disapprove, I think the shareholders will be quite scared also. Like, why is he trying to do next? Like, is he
I,
going to sabotage the company next or something?
Maybe I think the question is, so let's say now the incentive must be aligned, right? So let's assume the incentive is not aligned and they kick out, like I don't know, the Tesla shareholder base kicks Elon out. Do you think it will be a risk for your investment thesis? I'm just wanted to extend the discussion.
Actually, short term, it will definitely affect lah. Because the whole company, because everyone's view is that Elon is doing everything right. The full self-driving, the robotaxi is all his idea. But I feel that he has already set all these things in place already. So even without him, I think it can function perfectly well. Recently he said, I saw some news that the India visit, Elon has sort of delayed it because he was busy. But I feel, why isn't there a second in charge to do his bidding or something like that, even without him? So there's some. So it's back to the thing, is Tesla has a key man race and it's quite real. But I think over long term, this issue can sort out by itself lah. Because you see that Elon is so busy with all this SpaceX, the Neuralink kind of thing. He's he's not the one executing all these things, mah. So even without him, I believe it can do quite well lah.
Then Eric, how do you see this key man risk? Or is it even a concern? Do you think if we replace him with someone that is more managerial, it'll be better because you remove all this noise and all this nonsense about politics and whatnot with Tesla?
I think you can't take Elon away from Tesla. If you do, there's no one else driving Tesla. So I see him as crucial for the FSD. So if he's no longer there driving, right, even though it's remaining 1% only, let's say lah, I'm not saying it's 1%, but let's say you're 1% away from the level 5, right, and you pull him away, right, there's no one to complete that 1%. Yeah, the last 1% is actually technically, I think it's the hardest. Like when you charge battery, right? You know the first 80% is damn fast. Then once you get closer to 100%, it's become progressively slower to charge. I think it's that kind of curve lah that we are looking at. So in fact, now as we get closer and closer to FSD, right, the more we need someone to drive us over the finishing line. And once FSD is done, right, then you want to take Elon out, you want to like put some manager like Tim Cook, just run the company, keep it humming, then it's okay lah, because it's soft already ma. But if it's not soft, you take him out, or you say, oh, we are not going to compensate you. You'll be
So
like,
so can I understand that if he's out really, if he's really out, you'll sell everything tomorrow?
if he's really out, Will I
Like
sell?
meaning there's a struggle, then they play chess. You move 2 step, then 2 step back, 3 step back, then they keep playing, and then in the end, Elon say, I don't know what happens lah, but if that happens, is that a deal breaker? Meaning you'll sell everything?
Wow, that could be, yeah, I really need to think about it, because
Okay.
he is the key man. It's like
Mm.
you take him out, I don't know, is there proper systems at maybe they will run for a while lah, but given there's no visionary, right? They'll just stagnate at this level lor. I don't see any second in charge that is okay, able to keep Tesla growing towards the final goal, pushing them. I really don't see anybody. So I don't know.
Bunti leh?
Okay, on that legal things, right? I think sometimes as a shareholders, right? Although when it comes to the voting, you might say that, okay, why not I vote that to say that, okay, no compensations for Elon's, right? Because the judge already ruled that, right? Then you basically get some sort like a share buyback without the company actually spending the money. So that's good for shareholders on paper. But sometimes I do think that in this type of things, right, it's not just about the money. You have to do the right things. By the right things, I mean when this compensation came out, right? I remember it was quite a few years back. I remember that we have calculated, and some articles actually also published that they say that, okay, if Elon is able to execute all these milestones, including the market cap milestones and also some profitability milestone, right, then he will be the richest person in the world. Back then, I remember maybe the entire Tesla market cap could be, like below 50 billion. So I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's very, very low. And when you look at he executed all the plans and then successfully, launch and then sell all these like Model 3, and the company's market cap just keep on climbing. So he really executed that well and meet all the milestone and really become the richest person in the world. So I do think that he really deserved that compensations. Although I know that, okay, when the judge ruled that, okay, such ruling, right, I know that there might be some technicality behind that, but I don't think you shouldn't look at all the technicalities. You should look at the big picture. Because if really he rigged the whole things and just take the money for himself, right? And if that's the case, I would say that, okay, then that's a big governance problem. But really, when the compensations was drafted, right, it's like nobody, like I would say more than 90% of the people don't think that he can achieve that. So I do think that first things, do the right thing, which is that he should be compensated. Then secondly, I also agree with Eric that really without him, right? Let's say if they say, okay, no compensations, he fed up, he just leave Tesla, right? I think it will be a problem for Tesla, not to the extent to say that, okay, because he's the most genius person, hence without him, nothing gets done. It's not really like that. I think the CEO, especially the founder CEO, right, they play a very important role, which is that they have a vision, and then they have a strategy, and people just stick to one missions. Because if you observe, right, some companies without the founder CEO, right, they are like no leaders one. The CEO is just like like just do all the right, how to say the politically correct things, and then just day in day out. It's like without visions, right? You just become like any companies. Like there's nothing special about it. So I think it's quite painful things to watch if the companies that we invested in, right? Because we believe the mission, we believe the vision, suddenly just become like, oh, no difference compared to just any other companies. I think it's quite sad. So let's say if really he get out from Tesla, right? I'll just sell my shares there, just because of the missions, because we don't buy into the business, right? We buy to the entire package, and the entire package definitely include the mission or the strategy, everything, which is like tightly linked with Elon himself. Yeah. So I don't see a point to vote like, okay, let's give Elon's nothing. There's no point to do so. If you really don't like, you say there's a governance issues, right? You as a shareholder should just sell out. Why own the companies like that, right? Yeah. Sorry, a bit ranting, a bit long.
No, I think I personally agree as well. Because it's ultimately incentive, right? If you want people to work hard or to that's really changing the world, at least from how I look at it, Elon is changing the world, then he needs to be rewarded handsomely. So I think I wanted to extend this discussion to Bunti, right? Ask this question. I'm not too sure you follow this guy called Koh Guan Liu. So I believe he's the first or second largest individual shareholder of Tesla. So he recently just voted against the package. So what's your thoughts on that?
Really no thoughts
He
leh. I think he's just like any other retail investor. It's just the difference is that he own like tons of shares. So his opinion, right? I think it's fine for someone to vote against because what's the point of voting if you say everyone has to vote to the same decisions, right? So you know, like Tesla, they're operating in US, not in China. So only China is like everyone vote the same. So I do think that it's fine for someone who think differently and they want to vote against it. I think it's fine. But I don't think he has any special insight just because he has more shares compared to the others.
interesting. Calvin?
I got a follow-up question for Eric. So let's say if you have not invested in Tesla previously, right? Knowing everything that you know today, will you still have invested in Tesla back then? Like let's say if Chicken Genius wasn't around, I'm sure a few of us would have started invested because of him. So if he wasn't around, would you have invested in Tesla?
I think just to clarify, right, I invested in Tesla before I ever knew who was Chicken Genius. I have Tesla
Eric is the real
shares.
OG.
Yeah, so I have Tesla shares. Not say like way before lah. I own it in like early to 2020s. So, but I only knew there's this person called Chicken Genius after I owned Tesla for a while, a few months. Then, people start talking about this video. Then I say, this fella talking about Tesla leh. And I think I have Tesla. So I go and take a look. Then I listen to it. Hey, yeah, makes sense. Why not I follow him? That's how I got to know him lah. But yeah lah. So just to clarify, I didn't buy into Tesla because of him lah. But I think his videos at that time quite sensible lah compared to nowadays. Nowadays I don't know what is he talking about. Quite jumping here and there. So what was your original question again?
So why did you invest in Tesla in the first place?
Oh, this story I never shared with you all before. I thought I told you all
Shared with
before.
me before.
I shared with Bunty
I think I
before.
also heard before. But then I can say,
Oh yeah, it's your options thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, but that was not what Calvin initially asked. He asked that knowing what you know today, everything that has happened, would you still have bought into Tesla
Yeah,
back
without
then?
the options thing. So basically, Eric got assigned options, right? You were selling on Tesla.
Yeah.
So you were accidentally got in. Will you have like purposely get in by yourself?
Purposely, I don't think I know enough about Tesla to purposely get in at that point. I only started to read out about it after, I accidentally got in. Yeah, so if you don't want to accidentally get into any stocks, don't anyhow sell put.
But I thought you will usually sell put on companies that you want to own. Was that not the prerequisite of selling CSP?
Yeah, by right, right? By right. But
Okay,
but
understand.
you know the story, right? Because yeah, there's this person that I respect a lot, and then he was posting in the forum. He said that, this was the only stock he never get correct. Yeah, so then he's I think he's doing selling puts on Tesla at that time. Then the way that he posts it, right, it makes me wonder like, what is this stock that's able to go against these guys? And this guy, he's quite good, no, in his analysis. He writes a blog. He maintains a blog. I think even the hedge fund and all that, right, they will contact him and because of his analysis. So he's a very good blogger, very financially very savvy lah. So for a stock to go against his analysis, right, I think wow, consistently, I think that stock must be something special. So that is what prompted me to also go and sell the put lah. And then I got into this mess that until today I haven't got out of. That is the Tesla mess. Okay, but anyway, yeah. Did I answer the question?
Okay. What about Bunti? Why do you enter the stock? But not Baba.
Hey, I bought Baba
He
before.
has.
I
He was
saw.
an ex.
Yeah,
He was ex Baba shareholder. He sold paper handed.
didn't hold that back. But for Tesla, I first bought also early 2020, January 2020. That was also before I know who is Chicken Genius, just for the record. And I bought it at $500, which is like pre-split. So if you work out the maths, I guess it's probably what, $30 plus now. So that was the first purchase lah. But of course, after that, I DCA in. I have to say, maybe around after COVID, right? You remember there's this period where other automakers are facing problem. They can't churn out the car. Ford have to close, have to stop their production. Then Tesla car, the car prices was high, and then the resale prices also very high. So they have been, like increasing operating margin, increasing revenue, like crazy. Like everything was right for Tesla. I would say back then, even looking at the valuation, I would say that, oh, this company growing so fast. So definitely it's not like that risky. But we all know what happened in the past 1 year. They do price cut and so on. I think just recently they cut price again on FSD and car prices. So if knowing the recent development, by recent I mean 6 months, of course I won't buy at the high, right? By high, I also forgot. Like I need to check my records. But yes, right now underwater already. I think my average price is about 170s. Yeah. So now underwater.
Well, you from 30 average up until 170 also.
Yeah.
Quite strong. Means
Yeah.
your bigger purchase all came in very late, is it? Like your first purchase was not big lah.
Yes, the first purchase was like few shares.
It's a starter. Okay,
Yeah.
understand. Kelvin, did Buddhi answer the question?
Yeah. I think for me, I also I got it because of the guy lah. Knowing what I know now, right? I would rather just buy an ETF and just be done with it. It will save me a lot of headache every other day. Yeah, but so anyway, I'm still
But
learning.
if not,
yeah.
if not, you wouldn't go into the whole options world, right? To be willing and earning so much passive income. Is it not?
Yeah,
If
that's
you
true
didn't start?
also. So I forgot where I came across options, but I realized that Tesla was a very good candidate for options. And so I think everything happens for a reason lah. If after adding in the options, I'm actually still positive, even though my break even is at 200 plus. So that's how crazy this is lah. Yeah. But I'm just saying like if I were to start again, I would just take the safe route and be done with the whole investing thing, and everyone lives happily ever after kind of thing. Yeah.
But life is never so easy, right?
But I'll say that like if Tesla ever drops to 100, right, I may
Will you
start
add
I will
increasing
consider
exposure lah?
adding. Yeah, because back then I would say, oh, it was at 80% already, so I will stop adding. But if it drops so much, it's almost like Baba kind of level already, like near fundamental.
No, if Baba dropped to 30, I think I'll start
No, I
leveraging
mean
also.
like Baba at 70 now, it's been there for a while. It's near its intrinsic value kind of thing. So Tesla possibly is around that area lah. Yeah, just saying. Yes, I think that's all.
That's all. Bunti, got anything? No? Do we have any more questions for this? So I realize actually a lot of the Tesla or Baba discussions, right? It's always mostly Tesla discussions because we have 3 against 1. But I think anyway, I think to set a record as well, I'm very against leveraging. But I think to a certain point, right? I think rules are meant to be broken. To be very frank, right? Today, if I see, like really, if you really think about it, or if you go into that scenario where, okay, let's say Baba really today $20 lah. Let's say it drop another, how much is that? 70% from here lah. I think it's down 90% or something. I think somebody that's a non-believer, like Kelvin, for example. I don't know whether Kelvin will start trading options around Baba, but
I
when
will
it
start
goes
buying
below,
lips already.
or Lips, or you see, he even more aggressive. Lips is for those of you who don't know, it's a long-dated expiration options position that you can leverage according to your strike price and whatnot lah. But yeah, I see Bunti unmuted. Do you have anything you want to share?
I just want to ask, let's say Baba dropped 70%, but the free cash flow dropped by 60%. Would you still like buy a lot, leverage up?
So yeah, I guess a lot of things is quite fluid, right? Like you don't know how things how it will play out lah. So there's also a reason why Tesla or some of these companies are going down, because metrics are not looking good lah. Like I think Nvidia back then when it dropped 60-70%, the revenue was down like 20-30%. The funny thing about all these Chinese companies is even though the stock price tanked so much, right? The most they did was a flat revenue. Like they don't even tank so much. But
Yeah.
I guess it's a lot of the other things that come into play lah. But
Yeah.
if in that specific scenario, then there will be a lot of reconsideration lah. But I
Yeah.
mean, assuming now that if let's say they still don't grow, meaning let's say 0% year on year, or like -5% year on year, and they hold their top line, bottom line, and they drop another 60%, I think that's that'll be quite an interesting setup. So a lot of all this diversification lah. I want to keep to 50% of my portfolio, all can throw out the window already, I think.
But for Tesla, I think really I think they will release their earnings soon, right? And I think for upcoming Q2 delivery numbers, it seems that they're going to generate negative delivery growth. So they haven't really, like, I think in the past only maybe like 2 times, they've shown a negative delivery growth. So it's not common, but when that happen, right, people will start to, like factor in, like, you cannot just like keep on growing your revenue by 30% and put that into your DCF and say, wow, the company is undervalued. So
It's
yeah.
I think that's a common worry for most growth investing, right? I think Palantir that back then was also the same. They were saying that 30%, then suddenly it came in under in 2022, it came in soft, then the whole share price just tanked again 70%. So that's why I guess investors in those names need to be very sensitive to this kind of change in expectations. Yeah, lor. But I think I had one what was my question? Shucks, I forgot what I wanted to ask. Never mind, skip me first. When I think back, I will ask again.
Maybe I ask one question on Alibaba lah. Since Chicken, you have been following the companies, right? Let's say talking about like in the past 1 year, has they done anything that you think that wow, I'm happy as a shareholders. I really want my management team to do these kind of things. Is there any things that you think you are pleased that
Happy, yeah.
strategy, implementation, execution, whatever it is now, initiatives?
I feel like at least for the last 1 year lah. Let's scope it in. Let's say 1 year lah. So meaning from 2023 to 2024, that period, right? There is a lot of roti prata that happened. So they say they want to lease, then they say they don't want to lease. They say the previous CEO want to do something, then suddenly the next day he say resign. Then there's a new team coming in. And it's just a manifestation of eroding culture that has prevailed for the last 2-3 years. Happy or not, I think at least from a financial perspective, right? To be honest, the easiest thing for most people is if the share is cheap, please just buy back shares. You are not performing well as well. As in the numbers that they show, at least for the last 2-3 years, their ROIC is not fantastic. They say that, I mean, in the management call, of course, they want to say things that are happy to shareholders, right? Oh, we are prioritizing, we are reinvesting, we are divesting from useless arms and stuff. But I guess in a way, there's a very big selling pressure coming out from SoftBank, and the biggest buyer should be the company itself if they really believe. And over the last 2 years, indeed the conviction was shaken because it felt like the cash on the balance sheet is fake one because you can't deploy what. Even you can keep writing big numbers, right? If you can't deploy, means it's fake, meaning it's not belonging to shareholder. But I guess by them flexing and by them continuously buying, at least for Tencent, right? A lot of people say the numbers are fake as well, but apparently they can keep buying back. I don't know why, but if you look at the numbers, they're buying back much more aggressively than Baba when Baba's financial position is a lot stronger than Tencent because they have no debt, or close to no debt. But Tencent actually levy up a little bit more than Baba. So that's why I didn't understood that point. But then I guess it was really eroding of a culture. People don't really know who's the one doing decision making and what's going on. Then I think now they basically regroup and then they started issuing dividend. I guess it's in a way trying to signal confidence lor. So it's more of a financial engineering lah. Not financial engineering. It's just to prove a point that my money you all can take. It's not escrowed into a CCP's account or something.
So the cash dividend is one of the things that you feel happy about.
I wouldn't say happy. It's more of a signaling lah.
Okay.
To tell people to squash this nonsense lah that people keep saying that is a part of donation or is part of CCP's account lah. I guess it's just something. But I think other than that, I guess that's why a lot of people still smoking a lot of opium, including myself, by the way. Full disclosure, we are all holding backs, right? Like we all say that, oh, the new management team come in, they're divesting. Jose Tsai came out and talked, Jack Ma came out and talked, a lot of opium. But I still think fundamentally a lot of these large companies, when you really invest in big companies like, I don't know, even IBM, Nokia, those when they are really coming down that time, right? Their moat don't just evaporate like that. Big companies don't just go missing like that. They still have the strongest payment network. They are still the biggest company. Their GMV is double of Amazon. You don't just go missing like that. Like the supply chain, the network with the merchants, there are probably some strategy misstep, but I think So the funny thing is you try to attribute posts like if 10 years down the road, if Alibaba become bigger, then you say, whoa, people like Chi King, people like Master Leong, wow, you guys damn good, yeah, you all got the foresight. Then if it crashes down to like, won't say zero lah, but maybe like IBM, it just hovers like that for a decade. Then I'll say, see, your value trap. See, kena already. Good for y'all. Y'all should learn your mistake. So let's not try to do it in hindsight, but I think that a lot of things are very fluid. We follow. We would want to know that we are right at the end of the day, but still we need to be, I guess, fluid in our decision. And I think at least personally, 2 to 3 years is still a very short time frame. In order for you to crush a business, right, you really need quite a long time for it to play out lah. And if it continues not executing, then you might need to reconsider lah, like to readjust your expectations and your judgment again. But likewise, I'm just thinking now, if you're telling me that their free cash flow can hold, just hold. I don't need it to increase, just hold. And if they're really taking care of shareholders and return a 10%, 12% yield per year, then I'll just treat it as a dividend stock. I'll get back, like when I buy into Chinese banks, right? Yeah, I get back 10, 20, 12% every year. Like that's the investment thesis at the end of the day. Yeah, unless it's a deteriorating fundamental, then it's a totally different discussion already. Like you said, drop 60%, then I nothing to say already. Then it's probably a sell lah. Like if they continue on for 2-3 years. Okay, disclaimer also, I didn't follow anyone. I followed myself. Like I came in, then I started making videos. Then I scared people follow me. So yeah, I didn't have a bigger YouTuber that was talking about Baba. But Tesla, I must say that I didn't wanted to buy back then 2020 was, I don't know, I think maybe it's a natural thing for me. I have a bone inside myself that, wow, if a lot of people talking, I don't want to go and touch because I feel a bit uncomfortable. But then I feel more and more people throwing, then I'm more and more interested. I don't know why. I think it's a natural inclination of mine. I'm looking into Tesla. I'm a Tesla shareholder. I have $1 from the fractional debit card. I showed the three of them. So I'm also, I won't call myself a back holder because it's free. But I think my main consideration now is true that there's a lot of demand forecasting that's very shaky. And honestly, automobile business, it's not the best type of industry that people want to be in. Like we said, a lot of people say Ford, Chrysler, all of them bankrupt before. Car business is one of the hardest. So there's a lot of discussion around whether Tesla is a car company or an AI company, which I wanted to circle back. I'm not too sure whether Eric and Kelvin watched the recent collab with Punti and Darren, right? Them discussing whether it's an AI or a car company. Is this something important to you guys, Eric? Will you still buy Tesla if it's just a car company?
I
A
bought it.
fantastic car company.
I bought it when it was just a car company, though.
But the
Like,
promise was FSD and all these special things that it's a Trojan, right? The car. Like
no,
you're able to sell services, insurance, whatever.
yeah lah, but when I bought it, I just thought it was a car company. Then only until I listen more, research more, then I realized that, oh, it actually have the FSD. And then got what battery day and all these things. Yeah lah, of course, they talk until like 很厉害 lah. But at the end of the day, I don't know, like when the market is down, everybody's expectation is revised downwards. The growth also cut by don't know how many percent, 70%. Then all these pain points start to come out. Lor. So if you're asking me, do I think it's a car company or it's an AI company? I hope it becomes an AI company because if it doesn't, and it stays a car company, I think my investment will be like 10x the opposite direction. Yeah, so but if it becomes an AI company, then it will 10x in the right direction. So at this point, I feel like a gambler lah. But I'm just
But
holding on to my chips.
actually, I resonated quite a lot with what you said because it's always the pricing of the stock move the sentiments, right? Back then, you still remember Meta? I think we had this discussion, right?
Yeah.
So it became like what's that called? Wow, social media nobody used already. It's a boomer company. Then suddenly when they implemented AI, whoa, it's a new tech company, guys. It's a revised. Wow, the mode suddenly very strong. But I was thinking within 1-2 years, Meta mode can okay. Notwithstanding the llama that Punti talked about the open sourcing and really their leaps and bounds research in AI, but it doesn't happen in 1 year as well. A lot of
Yeah.
things happen in the background. It's just that whether they release it or are you kept pervy as a shareholder as well. But I'm just thinking generally, right? The idea of how wide the moat is dependent on the share price. If it went up a lot last 1 year, it's a wide moat company. If it went down a lot last year, it's a narrow mode company.
I don't think so. I look at Meta because back then when the share price dropped a lot, it's also because iOS restrict them from
Yeah.
getting the data. So really, in terms of like whether they are able to make this work again using alternative data, right, is still a question mark. I wouldn't say that the common like majority of people don't think it can work. It's just that it's not clear on how effective is the new recommender system.
So if it's clear, it won't reflect in the stock price, right?
two
Like,
things, right? One is that actually three things. Macro was bad, and then they lose the data, and then not sure of the new AI, new recommender system will work or not. Then third thing is that okay, out of all this, you profits already down, then you take the profit and go and spend at metaverse, right? So I think three things all collapse like combined together is really really big impact lah. So you follow these three things, right? Macro has been improving. Then the recommender system, all these things, thanks to NVIDIA chip, by the way, has been working. And then thirdly, sorry, what is metaverse again? There's no such thing
he's still
already, right?
spending, by the way. He's still spending more and
I
more
mean,
money.
it's not the things that Zuck keep on saying already. Now it's
Yeah.
AI. You see, the narrative already like pivoted. So I do think that if you follow each of these, you will recognize why the share is like people want to invest in this company again. Yeah. So it's not just like price go up randomly. It is not random at all. You have to give credits to the executions lah. Yeah.
My main thesis back then was quite simple lah. I think Meta as a business, like the moat was a social media company. It's a personal social media company. It will not go missing. Billions of users are still gonna use. And Zuckerberg has a track record of extracting a lot of value or money from the people, the users, compared to Google and compared to whatever like Pinterest, Amazon. Back then, all haven't monetized yet, right? Zuck was like the dude that, given the limited amount of real estate compared to search and YouTube, he still managed to extract a lot of money. And the social media part of the business, I think back then you still forgot one thing. I think I add the fourth point, which is TikTok. I think one of the questions that you told me back then was like, you asked me to open my phone and then asked me to look at your app usage. Was TikTok higher than Instagram? I think my conversation back then was TikTok as an individual app was higher than everything. But when I add the family of apps together, meaning Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, it's still the highest usage across the apps lah. So that was a good data point. But I think the bigger concern back then, I also said that was China, they won't let it. And it seems like the theory is proven lah, meaning TikTok is now in pretty big shit lah, like how they are being treated in US. Or maybe then at the end we will just round up, since it's a Alibaba versus Tesla video, right? Would maybe y'all want to state a price that y'all gonna add your position or increase your exposure or start a position? We will go around one table. Eric, Tesla continue adding, Baba maybe start a position. Will there ever be a price, and maybe state your reasons why or why not?
Tesla, I don't think I'll add lah. Even you go to the moon.
Go to $40, you also won't add.
No.
Why?
I'm
Interesting.
我的心灵 is already very tired. Because
Hey,
of
that's signs of capitulation, guys. Y'all can take it as a data point.
yeah, you can buy if you want. Like
Okay.
even my wife says she will just buy it at near $120.
You
Just
won't.
yeah, do a quick trade. Then I was like, wow, you win already lor. You make a quick buck when your husband is suffering. Then she said that's the point. Then I'm like, okay lor. Yeah. So but I won't add Tesla because I also I want to maintain that emotional stability. Because the bigger your size or your allocation, the more involved you are emotionally. And we know that Tesla can go like up and down very quickly. It can go 100%, 200%, 400%.
Second part, he leg out. Yeah, Eric leg out. Hey, Eric don't answer question, run away. As always.
He pressed what button?
Press the X button.
Or he thought HY, he said just pretend freezing.
Bunty also. Oh, Bunty freezing. He own
pretend,
self freeze.
pretend.
Then,
I want to
okay,
learn.
never
I
mind.
want to learn.
Let's skip Eric. Then Bunty lah. Both. Do you still remember the question?
Oh, adding up. Actually, no. I think for seasoned investor, I think this is how they will do it. They will wait for the recovery in the fundamentals. Right now, it's still not yet. So you want to wait the storm pass first, even if you have to buy it at a slightly higher price, right? Like you don't time the exact bottom, right? It's okay. Just let the storm pass first. I think that's what seasoned investor will do. Yeah.
Then Baba, also wait the storm pass first.
Baba, I won't say it's storm because I would say that if they suddenly like make a comeback, right? I think that is like, business comeback. They have to become a company that many people want to own. And how to become such a company, you need to have some narrative, some strategy, and then some result to tell people that you see we are back. So I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, Kelvin?
For me, Tesla, I'm a bit on the fence lah. So just now I say I will buy if it drops to 100. But on the other hand, I don't know if I have the emotional strength to keep buying if it ever reaches that price lah. Because like I said earlier, I'd rather buy ETF than have to deal with all this mess. Uh, but yeah, it depends lah. Because by buying more, I will get to have more stocks to sell options on, which is good. But on the other hand, I have to deal with all the Elon Musk crap, because it's not just investment already, because it's involved in with my YouTube thing. So it's also affecting me emotionally when the comments come, oh, Kevin, you see, Tesla dropped by another 50% again.
But you're still earning money, ma?
I am, but on the other hand, I have to deal with all this crap
Right.
on my channel. Or either that, I can just ban that guy. Right. But yeah, so I'm open to the idea of buying more, but I'm also open to the idea of not buying more. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, that's a very hedged position. Okay. Then only Tesla? Baba not
Only
interested.
for Baba not really interested. If I were to buy China stock, because I don't really look at Baba, and selling options on Baba is quite sucky.
Mm.
So recently I researched quite a bit into buying China ETFs. I identified quite a few stocks already, quite a few ETFs already. So if it ever drops, not really drop, actually it has been dropping already. I might start to add China ETFs, not really China Baba lah. Yeah.
Eric, you just now cut off. You want to finish and then you can do a closing also.
Where did I cut off at?
You were talking about, I forgot already. But anyway, you can answer the second part of the question
Which is
about Baba. You were talking about Tesla ma, just
uh-huh.
now.
Then
Yeah.
would I buy Baba at any price?
Yeah.
Buy Baba. I don't know. I don't follow Baba, so I don't know why I buy for what.
You
I
can sell
buy.
options first, sell put already, maybe exercise already, then you'll follow already.
But you forgot. I don't do options. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So no lah. I won't buy something that I'm not actually following. Yeah. So hard to unless you say you monitor for me.
I
Then
heard Woody that time was like saying what he will anchor at a price for me. Like let's say I buy Nvidia, he'll anchor at a price. Anything below, he help me take my loss. Yeah, that's how they usually do it, right? Then we need to split also lah. That's how
oh,
you structure the contract.
okay. So you want to do that?
Wait until $30. I know enough money. I leverage with you lah. Like I leverage on your position. Sounds
Oh,
good.
yeah, can.
Okay.
Gambling.
No lah. I think generally right. I also don't really know why AK kickstarted this topic. There's two very big groups of people following individual stocks, but they're not the same type of people. So it will attract very different group of audience, as you guys can see, right? So I think just to end off maybe my perspective, I'm not against Tesla, by the way. So I'm actually open to I wouldn't say start a position just to basically follow the company. I think there's a lot of you're basically buying the potential. To me, lah, my perspective is I'm buying the potential. I'm not buying into a traditional value play or this because the numbers make sense or whatever. You're really just betting on a lot of future lah. Like you're betting on Elon, you're betting on the company, you're betting on the optionalities in a way. So that's why I'm not against that, but maybe not at this current valuation. Then automatically Bunti will always ask, then at what price? How you derive your price? What number, what metric you look at? I think everything will be this will be a very emotional decision. So I have no very well thought out structure to tell you why I buy at XXX price. But I do look at sentiments quite a bit, and I do look at a lot of the bulls on Twitter now, on YouTube, whatever, all start to give up already, right? That's one of my metric to see when I'll buy in. Yeah, buy in just to monitor lor. So that's for Tesla. For Baba, I think I made my position clear. If it goes down to 30, which is trading at net cash, maybe the 50% allocation thing might be out of the water. The rule will be broken, but I will probably still keep to the not leveraging position. Then I'll leverage via Eric. Then I'll ask Eric to buy. Then we write a contract out. Then maybe I need to installment. If we really lose money, right, then I'll pay installment next time to cover your loss. Because we never set what's the contract terms. But I think, long story short, I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.